Welcome. My name is John Waits, and I have served as a bankruptcy judge in this district for over 20 years. I have seen thousands of everyday people in financial crisis. This motivated me to introduce the CARE program to South Carolina in 2002. The CARE program, the Credit Abuse Resistance Education Program, was founded by another bankruptcy judge in New York in 2002. It is now sponsored by the American Bankruptcy Institute. Its purpose is to educate high school and college students on the responsible use of credit and other fundamentals of financial literacy. The CARE initiative makes bankruptcy, consumer law, and financial professionals available to share the unique knowledge they have gained about credit and personal finance. Our goal today is for you to think about the importance of establishing good habits of money management. You should realize that your credit score can affect your ability to buy a house, a car, rent an apartment, qualify for an interest rate, and even your ability to get a job.
Over 40 million Americans have an average student loan debt of $30,000. Due to unemployment or income below the poverty line, 28% of borrowers are unable to make payments on their student loans. It's important to be aware of all the effects, advantages, and disadvantages of taking out a student loan.
This is Brian. Brian is a rising junior at the local state university. Though Brian received a small scholarship to attend college, he still had to take out a loan in order to cover the remaining cost of tuition as well as his living expenses. Since going to college, tuition rates have gone up, and Brian isn't sure whether he can increase the amount of his federal loan or whether he should get a private loan. He's afraid he'll have to leave school for the time being in order to work to save money.
There are a number of ways you can prepare to pay back your loans, even as a college student. First, it's important to think long and hard about whether your degree can land you a job with a high enough salary to pay back your student loans. If possible, find a part-time job while you're in school. This way you'll be able to set aside some money for the repayment of your student loans. You might also be able to pay the interest on your loans each month while you're in school. If you're trying to save even more money, consider cooking for yourself instead of eating out. Look for cheaper housing options and buy or rent your textbooks online. It's important that you stay in touch with your financial aid office throughout your college career to see if there are any changes in tuition, fees, or to see if you're eligible for any grants or scholarships. Remember, your student loans only can be used to pay for tuition, fees, room and board, and books. Do not use your loans to pay off credit card bills.
This is Jenny. Jenny has just graduated from a small liberal arts college with a degree in Spanish. She's hoping to become a teacher, but knows the low starting wages that public school teachers make. She's thought about going to grad school so that she could make more money teaching at the college level, but with $35,000 in student loan debt, she isn't sure whether she should get another loan or how much time she'll have before she has to start paying the loan back.
Remember, your lender is waiting for you to graduate in order to start collecting, and they will. The federal government can garnish up to 15% of your weekly pay, or 30 times the hourly minimum wages, whatever is less. It can also take your income tax refund and return your debt over to a collection agency that will charge fees of up to 30%. Focus on repayment. Depending on the type, federal loans have a 6 to 9 month grace period after you graduate before you have to start making repayments. Private loans do not have grace periods and cannot be deferred. The only way you can defer a payment beyond the grace period is to be enlisted in active military duty or to take more schooling. Of course, more school usually means more debt. There are 8 possible repayment plans for federal student loans with different minimum payment options and maximum amounts of repayment years. It's important to note how much you have to pay and how long you have to pay your student loan debt back. Private loans, on the other hand, usually don't have as many repayment options. However, just like federal loans, you are required to pay them back and will not be able to discharge them through bankruptcy in most cases. Your lender will decide whether or not they want to depart from the original terms of the loan. One option you have is to consolidate your loan. If you consolidate your loans, you'll be able to stretch repayment out to 30 years. However, you'll also end up paying a much larger amount over the 30-year period than if you just pay each loan according to its own terms. If you are unable to pay or consolidate your loans, don't become delinquent or go into default. Review your options. If you miss a payment, you will be considered delinquent. After 90 days, loan servicers will report for delinquency to the 3 credit bureaus. This will hurt your credit score, cause higher interest rates on credit you are approved for, and can even affect your ability to sign up for utilities, get certain jobs, or get approved for a lease. For most loans, after you have been delinquent for 270 days, you are in default. At this point, your entire loan balance becomes immediately due and payable. The IRS will keep your income tax refund. Your employer could be forced by the federal government to withhold payment from your income, and a percentage of your Social Security benefits could be withheld if you are retired or disabled. Getting out of default requires you to either pay off the entire loan balance or work out a reasonable and affordable payment plan. If you need a temporary solution, you might be able to defer the payment of principal and interest, or you might be able to get a forbearance where the lender forbears payment of principal for up to 12 months. Forbearance is usually discretionary, but can be mandatory in certain situations. More permanent solutions include loan forgiveness if you're a teacher or public servant, or cancellation and discharge. Cancellation or discharge is available in extremely rare circumstances. It is especially rare when student loan debt is completely or partially discharged in bankruptcy. Filing bankruptcy stops the collection of student loan debt while bankruptcy is pending, but you still owe debt. Other debts are typically completely discharged. To receive a discharge in bankruptcy, you must show 3 things: that you cannot maintain even a minimum standard of living because of the cost of student loan payments, that you have other circumstances that will cause your situation to last for a better part of the loan period, and that up until now, you have made good faith efforts to repay the loan. Proving these 3 things is a lot harder than you think. As you prepare to take out a student loan, remember that financial aid is debt, and that it's important for you to take responsibility in managing your debt. Don't ignore your debt until graduation. Instead, use the many free online resources available and take responsibility for managing your debt. Student loan debt collectors and loan servicers are not your financial advisors. Educating yourself about your finances and student loans is crucial, whether you're beginning college, living independently, working, unemployed, disabled, or retired. Take the time now to learn all you can, and remember, financial education now will prepare you for what comes